Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning. Over here in Europe, and this is the London session, just coming up to the London 10 o'clock candle. We don't tend to trade just before that. We're waiting for Tokyo to finish. I don't trade euro pairs on the London session. The first thing we do is check Forex Factory. So out of session pairs, my favorite are USD and USD JPY. 3 p.m. UK time UTC +1, we have some USD red news, so we're okay for the moment. Currency strength meter, refresh it each time. You can get an app on your phone. It's about $10. Currency heat wave. This is actually on my computer, which I prefer trading at my desk because I'm at home. 1 bar on Aussie, as we call it, as the base currency against US dollar. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. 4 bars on US dollar to sell or a put. A call is a buy. HourGlass is our scanner that I like to use. It's just a bit slow there. Close down a couple of Facebook things, if that helps. I'm going to be trading on this broker, which is 3 minutes fixed time. It's paying out at 78%. And I'm just going to, if that pops up again. That's just gone a bit spiky there. I'm just waiting for HourGlass to load. So 808 HourGlass. Don't know why that's being so slow. I did have it open a minute ago. Perhaps I'll log out of that and just open it again. This is IM Academy. I've been in it since May 2018, continuously, and teaching and training since autumn of 2019, I think. Let's come over here. If I can move that down. Come to strategies. I don't know why this is to close some of these windows, maybe. System's being a little bit slow. So there's 3 scanners under this particular one that I like to use. I like HourGlass. Les does some of the others. And I use something called double blessing strategy, which gives us key levels. So at the moment we've got the dollar as a put. So if I'm going to be trading the Aussie as the base currency, selling it against the dollar, I need this to be turning up. That bar is blue, showing it's buying. So it is now moving up. And if I look at the currency strength meter, just to see if there's been any changes, I've still got 1 bar against 4 on the US dollar. So that's fine. That's what I was looking at just before I came on. We're 1 minute past 10 o'clock UK time. And it says 26. It's just dropped 1 on the Aussie against the US dollar. So you want to be selling that, and that's your longer term rolling moving average. The bars turned red, saying sell. You can see it's above the midline. It's just come off this. It's at 787. It's dropped down. Sometimes it does that a few minutes before. I did get into a test trade just 30 seconds before the hour, just as we were coming on. So I'm winning that extremely comfortably. I entered at 8:08, so we'll go over that in a minute. I can show you what I did. That's off the hour. We use market timing strategy. I take my trades on the hour, and as I say, this probably moved slightly beforehand. I entered at 59.15, so slightly preemptive. And you can see it made its move at exactly, well, 45 seconds past the 11 o'clock my time. I'm in France, UTC +2. But sometimes with a strong currency like this, it won't move till the 5 past. And the same when you get to the 30 minutes. So it's a bit of a judgment call, but we'll just go over this trade before we look for the next one. And that one I have won comfortably. That red line says I was selling or a put on this strategy, paying out at 75%. Now, what I can do is put that 780 onto my next trade. So I can put it up to say 20, and that's how we compound. And then I'll be done for the day, etc., etc. So that's how we do it. So now we've ascertained there's no news till 3 p.m. Fed Powell speaking, no figures against it at UK time. I'm trading an out of session pair. London pairs are Euro, GBP and Swiss franc. We never trade CHF, Swiss franc. Helvetica is the H, Federation, Confederation, Helvetica, something or other. So out of session pairs, sort of less volatile, but the major currency pairs, the major Forex pairs are strong pairs. So they often will carry, even if you're going to take a call on this or a buy, you know, they can carry on like oil tankers with their momentum before they turn. And you just sort of learn that judgment along with us. So let's have a look, see what HourGlass says. So 4 minutes ago, it said a call, but I'll just refresh it. I took the put and I won that comfortably at 808 down to 787, just as we were coming on. So I will show you how I did that. Now, as we're trading it against the dollar, we want to keep an eye on this 5-minute scanner as to what the US dollar is doing. And you can see it's got the green line going up. Fed Powell speaking at 3 p.m. UK time. Ignore that, it should say UTC +2, but I can't be bothered to change it. But the dollar is below this midline at the moment. So it's, we want it to be going up if we're going to be selling the Australian dollar. It's right down at the bottom. My next trade will be the 15-minute fast. As I said, we follow the market timing strategy. I will also go over today engulfing candles, indicators and settings. I know Les did indicators and settings yesterday. I had someone on the North American team ask me about it. You know, they're very busy working, so I thought if we repeat it, there's no harm done. So, and they also asked that there's an engulfing candle. And what we mean by that is the momentum is so much strongly the other way. It's literally engulfed that candle going down, engulfing candle, which means it's pushing upwards. And you can see it did carry on upwards, and then it failed. So you can also measure these against key levels. Les has a very good pictogram for that to show you a little bit more advanced technique on how to measure how strong the candles are for the direction that you want. Or you can follow Dr. Josh Lee's 3-candle strategy as well. So we're coming up to 6 minutes past. I'm going to just, we've got plenty of time, come down to the Australian dollar. So it gave us, it's giving us 2 calls. Now, as it said 21 to 54, when I took the trade at 59 minutes and 15 seconds for a 3-minute fixed time, it was at 26, and I took a put. So I want to explain to you how you can work out what you think you're doing. So if you look here, because this is an algorithm, so it's bouncing off certain key levels, like this rolling line in the middle of the Bollinger Bands. So if you look visually at what's happened, it's ballooned out and then it's now going parallel. So a little bit of what we call consolidation going on, and price likes to find these key levels, any lines that, we're not professional traders, we're retail traders, but any lines, this is a professional trader's line, it's called the 200 moving average. Price will come and rest against that. I use another one called the 62 EMA, exponential moving average, and price rests against that as well. So when at 5.2, you can see that what happened, and always check you're on the correct currency pair and refresh your screen, by the way. Price broke through, it came up to this top level, and then at 55 it dropped down and it carried on to retest this line, and it's breaking back down. So when price on the hour gave us a call, it was because it was assessing where it was against these key lines, but we can also use it as confirmation. We can also make our own judgment according to currency strength and trading with the trend, and knowing our market timing strategy, what happens on the hour and the half hour, that price will not always, but normally reverse. And we only like to take calls, buys or puts, which are sells, if it's at 3 or above. So that's very weak, and these probes also tell the story. So I'm at 8 minutes past. I'm looking for a trade as a put at 15 minutes past. I'm not going to do anything about this at the moment because it's right down in what we call the oversold area, and it's coming down to these green lines, relative strength index, and something called stochastic. So you don't need to bother about these fancy names. What you need to bother about is, if you're taking puts, have you got 4 reds? Or if you're taking a call, a buy, have you got 4 greens? Those are your best trades. So we're coming down to the oversold area. So sometimes you can get, depending on prices, movements at time of day and the pattern that's been created in the market, it can just carry on tanking or carry on accelerating upwards. But we can go into a little bit more of that later. So if I come over, just double check my currency strength, because I'll probably take my next trade, which, if you remember, I've compounded the profit of the first one. So I want to be cautious. Here's someone in the chat. Oh, well done, well done. Yeah, exactly. Same as me, Les. I did 808 and cleared at 787. Brilliant. So this is, Les has been doing trading a lot longer than me, and this is what you learn as you go along, that you are using these as confirmations, guidance, a roadmap, a sat-nav, but you are also using your own intelligence. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I've used my sat-nav, I was in New Zealand once in a hire car, we followed the sat-nav blindly, and we ended up literally, and I'm not joking you, on a cliff face, like we were like goats hugging the cliff face. There was no way out. We couldn't turn around or go back. So same thing, you don't follow this blindly, you use certain things and pull it all together. So we still want to be taking puts on the Aussie against the US dollar. As I said, there's red flag news at 3 p.m. this afternoon UK time. I'm now going to come over to my trading view, and you can see I've got certain lines. We like to use these lines. It gives us, it's a fantastic system. Both Les and I have tried many systems, and we really love this. So again, it's a fantastic roadmap. So I'm using these indicators, which Les went through yesterday. Evan Cabral's binary strategy 2. You don't need to change any of the settings. You'll find it under indicators. If you're on a free version of TradingView, if you're serious about trading, I recommend that you, I think it's about $10 a month, to take the next one up, because then you don't get the annoying adverts and you can put more things on. And we use something called quarters theory. I'll show you the settings. Now, if you're setting it at 50 pips, which I used to do on Forex trading, perversely, you will uncheck the quarters. You can see I've left the quarters on, which means that it's set at 25 pips, which is what you want for this binary strategy trading. These little orange dotted lines are at 25 pips from each line. Use your ruler, go from there upwards and or down, whichever. Just move that down a bit so I can show you. So there's there to there is 25 pips. That's $250 million in the market, which is nothing for market makers. And generally, if price has moved 10 pips from the first major level, it will want to carry on down to the next level. So we're using quarters theory, Evan Cabral, and then the third one is this key levels. Here, you don't need to change any settings. I've changed the colors, put the hourly to yellow, and that gives me, that means I only have to draw on, sorry, I've got some old yellow hourly lines. I only have to draw on the white, which is daily, and then the little yellow lines, which I can't see any, there's one there, give me the previous hour, and will automatically change as we get to the new hour. So I'm on the 5 minutes, just coming up to 12 past, so I'll show you the hourly. There's that hourly line, what happened before, because we look left to see what's going to happen right. So you can see since market opened, my green is Tokyo, yellow is London session. Price dropped heavily off that quarter theory, moved down past the daily, and it balanced out that section there. Market always has to balance of that previous hour from yesterday, those levels there. So you learn to read visually what's happening. I can see now it's beautifully touching that 743, which is my 62 EMA. Not everyone uses that, it's a habit. And this blue one is the 200 EMA. So we can see the Australian dollar in line with our currency meter is most definitely dropping. And we can see the previous hour was what we call a doji candle, and it probed down to the daily. And that's why I like this pair so much, because look at that. It's saying, you know, I want to come down more. And that's because of all this, what we call imbalance over here. So let's now move down our time frame, show you on the half hour. So coming up to quarter past. So there it is, just coming down 732 on the half hour. That's a half hour time frame to the 200 moving average. But you can see on the half hour how it's respecting this quarter theory, as we call it, quarter point 750 on the half hour. So it's come down, it's come back up, it's come down to the daily. It's taken in the previous half hour as a buy candle up just past to the hourly of that 62 EMA, and now it's opened as a sell, and it's come down 747. It's trying to push through, and here you can see it used that line as well. So that's what we're looking at, that it used that as resistance and then broke through that big engulfing candle at the open of New York, or about half an hour after it. So that's what's happened as the New York brokers have come in yesterday. So let's come to the 15 minutes and see what's happening. I'm probably not going to take a trade till the half hour. So on the half hour, but on the 15 minute, I beg your pardon, it's a sell candle. It probed up, didn't have much joy doing that. It's come down and now it's retesting that 750 level. So you could take, if it was up at 750, I haven't looked at HourGlass because I'm talking, it comes back up to 750. It's not doing that at the moment. You could take a put, but look at that yellow line at 725. So you've got to be precision entries, because we're in for 3 minutes, hopefully under, and you don't want to get caught where it stumbles and then pops back up. And we also use, here's the pivots off Evan Cabral's, so you get the tick when everything lines up. So there is a key level for it at that 725 level, where it's going to struggle before it carries on down. But with these strong pairs, they do like to come down. So I'm going to write down 693, and I'm going to come to my 5 minute. So here I've got something, this white line, these are called candle close channels, and you can see it's perfectly on that 725 level on the 5 minute at the moment. So if you were in this for 3 minutes, then I'm going to look on HourGlass, see what the 15-minute trade market timing 15-minute past says. But you can see it's wicking off this level, and that's simply because it's going to struggle at any major level like a traffic light system. But if I look up here, I can see the Bollinger Bands are also closing. I haven't got hidden bear, which means directional trend down, and I can see from that 10 a.m. London time, you can see lovely parallel lines as it comes down. So I think it wants to carry on down at the moment. And I'm going to look on the 1 minute. And on the 1 minute, you can see, as I said, it's 1 minute past. So we're on the 1 minute. This is a 5 minute candle. We're in for 3 minutes or less if you're on a non-fixed time broker. And you can see here how it came off that same line. So we have to be very careful of this, because at 15 minutes past, there are going to be 5 of these bars to make up the 5 minute candle. So So if I put a vertical line on for the 20 past, which is there, that's 1 minute, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So if we'll look at HourGlass, see what it said on the, I'll just go up to the dollar first. So that's good, but the US dollar is saying, and that moved at 5 past. You see it's still below that midline though. So, and it's a call score, it's a green line. So it's come down, it's retested it, it's come down again, it's retested it. So it's struggling to get up above that line. And we do want that to be saying call or buy. It's a measure of strength of the dollar. So if the dollar's tanking, you don't want to be selling the opposing currency, which in this case is the Australian dollar. 1 Australian dollar to $93.132. Because you need your opposite currency to be going the other way. Back on this, you see how the Australian dollar's dropped to 14 against US dollar 56. Trend is your friend. You can see it says call score of 2. I want it to see if it can recover a little bit. 4,000. Just refresh that. And I'm going to look at a trade on the half past. Gives me 10 minutes, 2 blocks of 2 5-minute candles to make my decision. So here's a call score of 5. Now it's perfectly off the Bollinger Bands. Call score of 5 is extremely good. It's oversold. It's oversold. This is what we call a retracement. I don't want to take that, not at 11 on my base currency, Australian dollar against 54 on US dollar. It's more risky. Why would I do that when I can wait patiently for it to come up, hit a line, hit a brick wall, dodgems to hit the edge of the playground, and then come down. So I don't want to be doing that. And in fact, you can see the bar itself is still red. So as I say, these are, it's just gone to 13. These are algorithms. That is on my 20 past candle. Call at 724. 725, we know is that major level we were looking at, which is why it's probably hovering around here. Now, just because it's hit the edge of these bands, they can still widen out and it can still carry on going down. We have to make that decision. So I'm now going to go to my trading view. Now I've seen what's going on where my major levels are. It's just 17 to 19, 16. It's just changing as it gathers a little bit of strength there off the oversold on the 5-minute. And that call score will reduce as it makes its move because it's already into the move, if you see what I mean. Right, so let's come back to our trading view and we'll go back to our half-hour strong sell candle pushing down through the 200 moving average. But there is that 724. It's an old hourly that I had, so I won't move it to adjust it because I can't remember which hourlies it came off. But it was an old hourly and I've left it on. This is the new hourly off the indicator that we're using, key levels. Opens as a strong, this is what we call an engulfing candle. It's totally engulfed the previous opposite candle or bar. And that means there's a very strong move the other way. It's broken through quarter theory and it's already probed down on the hourly. And the half hour the same. So it's between our quarter theory and that 725 level. And on the 5-minute, that's 15-minute, you can see it's bouncing off it. So that is the, I'll move that to the half past. That is the call that the algorithm has given us off that old hourly. I'm going to sneeze, sorry. but you could see there's a little probe there, so it's trying to get back up, but it got back up to 744, but it can't. It's very weak in its move upwards. This is down on the 3 minute and come to the 1 minute. I'm at 22 past, and this is on the 1 minute, so that is 3 minutes now into the 5 minute candle. I draw another line here so you can see where we're going to be at the last candle before the half hour will be here. So from 20 past, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you had taken that trade, then you would have lost it. So this is why we like the key levels. Back on the 5 minutes, so we can see what we're aiming at. This is just a shorter time frame moving average, exponential moving average, this orange one, the 62, and it crossed over the 200, which is a longer one. Any time frame it's measuring 200 of these bars, and any time frame this is measuring 62 of the bars. So this is measuring 62 times 5 minute bars, and that's measuring 200 times 5 minute bars. So a longer, slower move. But I can see that that crossed at about 8:15 UK time, and that is pushing price down on these shorter time frames. So I know I'm still in a downward momentum, but if I look at the blue and the red, these are the Bollinger Bands, and they're like a crab's claw. They're coming closer together. So there's a little bit of consolidation going on, and that's because it's struggling at this level down here. 721, so it's breaking through, but I'm not going to do anything till half past. I'm going to take off that line, so we've got less to look at, and I do believe it will want to come down to that 693, the daily. Let's look backwards, see what happened with it on the this is on the, so there it is there, which was today at 9:10, 9:15. This is on the 1 minute, remember. So it moved up, it's moved up 843. We took it there on this downward one. It's come through on the quarter past, and it is now making that move down to meet up with that. I'll put it on the 5 minutes so we can see back a bit further, see what we want to do for our next trade. And if I don't take one at half past, then I'll look at the 45 and then on the hour. So let's look over here. I'm on the 5 minute. Sometimes I put the magnet on. I don't want to disturb any of my lines. That will stop all your drawings moving. So what we can see happening here, without getting too technical, is it's coming back down to meet up with all this area here now. And this daily is this white line. It's already tested it, so it's coming back down to test it again. It's an extremely important level, and you can see how it's tested it there, and respected it. So that's what it's doing for the half hour. Sometimes it can take up until the hour, and then here we've got 72.5, and at the moment it's that 750. So these are not large sums of money in the market when these are making these moves between these orange dotted lines. So I'm very interested in what it's going to do on the half hour. 27 minutes past. I'm going to come back out, see if I can take a put, but I want it to retest this 725 level. I want to be below that for the put. As you can see, it's moving slightly now. Because it's not always precise on that half hour. Sometimes I have to wait till 31 or 32. I'll remove that line. So that's good. Let me look at the 1 minute. 27 minutes past. And there it is coming back up on the 1 minute, but I don't ever get in. Well, so I tell a lie, sometimes I have done it. There's a pivot there as well. It's 712. So it's taking that pivot level. But personally, so what you can get is a retest back up to that 750. Price will break, retest and go. So we could see it come down here, or we could see it take this yellow, because there was a blue pivot line there, take that on the half hour, come back up to the 750 and then come down. So we need to see what Hourglass is going to tell us. And I want to see 28 minutes past what the dollar is doing quickly. To scroll right back up here. The dollar is a put, so that's bad for us to take a put on the, oh, and that's good that it's come through the midline now. So it probed right up, it's retesting it, so that's great. The dollar is gathering in strength. We want that in line with that green line. We want that to be a call. And then we had a call and a call at 724, at 717. So it's broken through the midline and come back. It's right in that oversold area. And price, I'm going to have to refresh. See what price is at the moment. Dollar's still a put. So as I say, you can get moved 31, 32 minutes past, or even take it on 34 or 35. So it's 10 to 63. I most definitely personally am not taking any calls on this. It's down at 701. It's the algorithm saying, you know, bouncing off the algorithm. But there's no way I'm taking calls on this. That's at 717. Look on the 1 minute. And it's at the bottom of my candle close. It's come down there. So what we should be waiting for, really, it probably will just carry on down to the 692 area. But personally, I'd rather wait and see if we get a retest back up to 724. I can see that 62 moving average coming to the 750. I'm on the 1 minute. So I'd like to see a pullback before I then take a put. And let's see what Hourglass, less than a minute to go on the half past, to call at 702. I don't want to be taking that. This is what's happening on my, I don't know why I can't change to 3 minutes. It'll only give me like 10 minutes upwards. It's been doing this for quite a while. There it is at 714. So fine if it's going up and I've missed that trade. I don't care. There's no way I want to take calls on this myself. This is the 200 moving average. Now this is a fixed time broker, so I have to be quite careful on this because I can't do a rollover. We don't really like rollovers because we only get 30% more risk, 30% more payout, but I don't have that option on a fixed time one. It's come up to 719, and I've got my timer down here. And there it is coming up to the 725. I'm at 31 minutes. Now it could, because the 62 is right on that 750. So it could carry on up before dropping down. 725, it's right on our, and it's got a green tick on the pivot. It's in the oversold. So it's done that momentum move up. It's quite tempting. There's the 15 minutes. It's wicked off it as well. It's quite tempting to take the put on that. And the half hour candle, the 200 moving average is in the zone. $7.14. So I could have taken a put there. Sometimes I do wimp out a bit when I'm on these sessions. They're there on the 1 minute. It's a little doji candle and the red pivot. So it is making its move down, and I think it'll go down to that 691. But we have got a blue pivot there at 705 and 702. Come back to HourGlass. 707, so it's just carrying on tanking at the moment. So it's very strong momentum down, so it's quite hard for me to take that put. But you just have to be patient because it's, and there's that, it's just the probe has failed, so it's carried on. That candle's opened at 708 on the half past. So that did make a nice move down. So even though the algorithm said call, I can see it's just crossed over there, so it's a little bit of resistance to it carrying on down. But this is when you read the algorithm, you have to learn to understand these key levels. And oh look, there's a nice move now, so it's coming down to our level. I don't often come on the 30 seconds when I'm on this live session. And there it is off that pivot at 698. But you can see it is making its way down now. So it did a break in fact, if I'd looked on the 30-second, I could have 30 minutes. I could have taken on the 30-second time frame. I could have taken that one because I had the red pivot, the yellow line, and the candle, the upper candle closed channel as well. So I would have been okay on that, but on a precision entry. But sometimes on these strong pairs, it can carry on moving a little bit the other way. And here it is, just coming down to that daily. Let's go back on our 5-minute. So I'm not going to move to, so someone asked me about engulfing candles. I've done that. I've done the indicators and settings again. So hopefully that's been helpful. We will repeat them again. You can see this is retesting this level on the 5-minute. There it is there. And that's what it's doing now. So it's just hitting that, just probed down to that 693, 692 area, as we said. So it's coming back up. So I've got an opportunity on the 30. Oh, this is 35 now. So I've got, I'm not going to take a call on this. So what I want to see now is either a pullback and then I take a put, or it breaks through like this. Price will do two things. So come up here and then down and do that, or just carry on down for us. Maybe want to hit that level, but you have to look left to see if it hit it before, and look at the overall pattern of the chart on the 15-minute or the hour to see what the overall formation is, because as Les said yesterday, we're all human beings and these markets are driven by humans. Now what I do know, and humans like routine, what I do know is that I just want to measure the number of pips. It's only 6 pips, so that's not much for AUD/USD. But you see how it broke and retested that quarter theory. So I do know that price often likes to come back and test these major levels before then dropping as well. Just take that, take those off. Keep your charts clean. Don't need any more, and keep the same colors so that you your brain gets used to remembering what the colors are that you're using. So we can see it's oversold, call score of 3. It's at 703, that's at 720, that red pivot. But it's only 11 to 57. It was a call off that 695, which was that daily. So that could constitute the half-hour turn on the market timing. So it's a bit of a mixed message, wasn't it? Because I thought I could have taken a put. It's certainly so much weaker than the dollar. I'm not, although it's off that daily, I probably wouldn't be taking that myself. but it's done this break off the midline, so it does have to retest somewhere before carrying on dropping. Price will always move in waves, but I'm looking for it to come up a bit before taking a put. Oh, and here it comes. It's up at 7:13. Let's look on the how the hourly is doing. So the hourly sell candle off that daily. Did use that daily as it's probed down, and the half hour has also used the daily as you'd expect, and it's wicking off that 725 and the 200 moving average, which on the half hour is 732, and the 15-minute. Just remember we're right down on these lower time frames, so you can see it's now broken that structure of the hourly at 724. So that looks to me like it's going back up to that level for the hour, maybe. We don't know that necessarily. And here we are on the 5-minute, which is our default position. You can see back here, strong sell engulfing candle, then resistance, then indecision, and then it took off. And it's come back up to that level, but it's wicking off that level on the 5-minute. It's at 718, so it's not really got a lot of strength in it to get back up further. And this is probably why, because it is looking at what's happened here, which is all blue candles with no green on this side to balance it out. So price is thinking, I wonder whether I want to now balance out these orders, as we call them. These blue solid bars represent buy or call orders. And also I can see here on the hourly, it's now also broken that 62 as well, but it's struggling at this level because price will always struggle at these major levels, no matter what the time frame. So I wasn't taking that trade on the half past, but it did move up off that daily for a call. So you did have between 693 and that 725 for a call off the half hour, and that's market timing. So my next trade, and then I'm going to finish this session, is to look on the 45. Sometimes with these strong pairs, price can just bust on through. I'll put my line there so we can see what we think we want to be doing, what I want to be doing, and do what we like. Just make that bit bigger. So if I'm going to take a trade for a put on the 45, then I don't want it to be above this red pivot on the 5-minute, which is 731, my zone. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting to draw rectangles. I'm going to start to do that. And 722. 723, which is the yellow old hourly. See, it's looking on HourGlass. It's got a B for the buy. That was off the half hour. Didn't make much of a move up. We like it ideally up at the reds, but it's formed a new high there. That red pivot, that's 721. It's got it here. We have about 723, 724, the top of that probe. So if you look and see what price has done, break, can't get back up to the midline. Bit of consolidation, which is why the Bollinger Bands, they're like elastic bands, which is why they narrowed. You can see it's now pointing down again a bit, so getting a bit wider, so still pushing down, as evidenced by 11 on Australian dollar to 60, 61 on US dollar. So you just have to be patient. I took one trade just before I came on with you guys, like Les did, and won that. I've compounded for my second trade, so I'm in no rush to, you know, take a trade unless it's got the setup that I want. When I finish this session at 11:45 or 12, probably 11:45, then or 10:45 UK time, then I will just simply come on this afternoon, bearing in mind that there is red flag news at 3 p.m. UK time. I'll see what else is doing, and I never trade after tea time on a Friday. I very rarely trade on a Monday, and you'll learn this as you go along. You get into a rhythm and a routine when you think the pairs that you like to trade are moving best, in what sessions and what days. Tuesdays to Thursdays, Mondays the markets are setting up, and Fridays obviously going home. So, some scans which Les goes into on the Forex scalping that we do, setting up for next week, which we also show you. So I've now only got 1 minute 47 for this next idea, but that's not really looking brilliant for me. Come back down to that daily. This is on the 1 minute. So it could bust on through, which would be nice. It's on the 1 minute. It's got a hidden bear coming up on the 1 minute, which means directional trend down, but we know that from this weakness of the currency. This is the 5 minute. And the 15 minute is just wicking off. There's a little yellow line there. That's an old hourly. So there's that 693. So it's a very strong level for it. But the probe there says it doesn't like that upper level that we were at the beginning of the session at the 724. So if I'm going to get into a trade on the 45 minutes, I've got to be very careful of this level, haven't I? Because it's going to struggle to get through it, and I'm only in 3 minutes fixed time. You can see here it wicked off it before as well, formed a blue pivot. So I don't want to be in a trade that's then going to hit the buffers and stall me out and lose the trade. It's 697 if you 698 if you watch your price on TradingView. Let's have a look at the price on HourGlass. 668. Did call a put at 711. Current price is at 694. It's got 3 seconds to go. So now it will turn round. It's at 9 against 64. It's giving us a call because it's in the algorithm in that oversold area. That's not of interest to me, by the way. I'm certainly not going to do that when it says 9 to 61. You have to remember this is mathematics. It's not a human. It's going to go down. So let's have a look here. It is going down. It's at 701. Is that good enough, Les? So Les doing on that one. Tempted to take it now. Put it on the 5 minute. Just breaking through. 686.
I would say it has broke through, Sarah, but I would just be a little bit patient because I've got a feeling it'll come back up and retest it.
Right, yeah. That's caught me out before. Yeah, it's just wicked off it now. Let me come to the 1 minute.
Yeah, it's made a new daily low now, so it's whipped down to it. But I would wait for the candle to close below to confirm break, and then the next candle. I mean, you could drop down to the 1 minute if you want to monitor it on there, because you can see on the 1 minute the candle's closed below it.
Yeah, I've got 36 seconds to go on this one.
Yeah, I would just wait for the next candle.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it's broken, then it's going to retest it. I would, you just need to be a little bit patient. I would say maybe wait for the next candle, 1050, but we know on 45 it can quite easily go back up. But I think with this being a major, like a major level, this was the low of the day, and it's now broke that. So it looks like it's going to continue, but it will do a little retest, and it has done it on the 1 minute.
Yeah.
If you want to go off the 1 minute and maybe do it, you can do it that way. But we've got a couple of minutes to go till the one. But you know, we've got a bit of confirmation there now that it looks like it wants to go down now. But it'll come back up, whether you think the retest is on the 1 minute, or the 2 minute, or the 3 minutes, or the 5 minutes. It's up to you. It has broke and closed on that. So yeah, I mean, I would just wait. We've got it might well on this next candle make its way back up to the previous low, which is above it now at that 691 area.
Yeah.
Which also coincides with an hourly as well.
Yeah.
So could well make its way back up there for on the hour at 11 o'clock and then go down.
Oh, okay. Because
I'm just going to say you can learn a lot, not by taking the trade, but just by watching it.
Yes.
And see if it does come back up and retest that, and then it'll go down.
Yes, because sometimes when we look at our market timing, as we say, the 45-minute trade can be at the 50 and the hourly can be at the 5-2 or the 5 past.
Exactly. So
yeah.
I think we're going to get a retest. We've already had it. If you go lower than the 5-minute time frame on the 1, 2, and the 3, you've had your break, you've had your close, and you've probably had your retest as well.
Yeah.
It hasn't done it on the 5, so you know you might want to just be a little bit patient. If you miss it, you miss it. But I do think it'll work its way back up before it continues on its journey down.
And that of course is a safer move as well.
Yeah. And you can see. I mean, I know you didn't really want to mention it, but if you zoom out on that 5-minute one, you can see that that is really a key level. It's broken there, and it looks like it wants to go down to the next one, which is around about 605. And my personal opinion is it will go down to 500 now.
605, this pink line.
Yeah.
And then down, and then down to the 500. Yeah.
It'll complete its 25 pip journey down to the 500 mark. That's what I think now. Because that is quite a key level where it's broken there now. So I think it'll come back up and retest it in the short term and then continue.
Yeah, it's just doing about the 10 pips off that 750 now.
Yeah, so I'll just be a little bit patient because we know what happens in this last 10 minutes, especially Sarah towards the hour. This can quite easily turn around and just shoot back up.
Yeah.
Because we're, you know, it looks like it's getting ready. So look, to me, it's made its mind up. I mean, I've got a crystal ball, but we can see on this on the 50 now, it is starting to just get a little bit of a traction going back up. So we're probably looking at around about that 700 one, which is quite key. But yeah, that's between, I would say 691, 700. I think that's where it might want to come back up for the hour and then continue back down. But
so let's put a horizontal line on at 700 and running out of colors. I'll make that.
Yeah, the reason I mentioned the 700 or just below it, there's like a pivot there.
Yeah.
There's a couple of pivots there. There's one at 691 or 693, I think, and then there's another one just above it. So if you put like a rectangle on that on the 5 minute, can you see those blue pivots?
Yes, I'll put. I keep forgetting to do the rectangles, so I must start that.
If you draw that along there and take it down to that 691 as well, which is the daily, the previous, that area there, and we can see now on this 5 minutes how it's come back up to retest that.
Yeah.
Like I said it would.
Yeah.
Just a little bit patient there. Yeah, it's the fill. You want the fill on there, Sarah? Whatever colour you want to make that. So, yeah.
Oh, where's the fill? Is that it?
So yeah.
Oh, opacity.
Yeah. So you can see how that's come back up and retested on the 5 minutes. So you've got the confirmation there, you've got the break and the close. It's come back up and retested. It's gonna hang around that zone, I think, until the hour, and then.
Oh, okay, I get you. Because sometimes what I've done in the past, you see, is I would have got in on that green one, but actually if you're patient and wait for this, because I do know about break and retest, obviously, you're in a much safer position, especially if you've compounded your first trade.
Well, if you wait, if you can see there at the minute, it's an engulfing candle. So potentially it could want to go up, but you know, we won't know that the candle's closed. It's wicked above it, and look where it's wicked. It's wicked to the top of where, you know, that 703 is. I mean, you know, it's quite, once you get your head around this and understand what's going on, you can start to pick and choose these trades, and you only really need to do, you know, two a day, maybe 4 a day, you know, to hit your targets. I mean, I've done 2 trades on your session today. Took a trade at 10 o'clock and I took another one just before 10:30 there. They're both going. So I've done 5.5% count growth, and that's more than enough for today. And I did compound the second trade as well, by the way, you know, with the profit off the first one. So, you know, I think anybody's more than capable of winning 2 trades in a row just by doing this. And we can see now how that's wicked up, and it hasn't held it up there. It's come back up and it's retested it, and it looks like it wants to go down. So it might come back up, we know, because it's a key level. Well, it's just broken. It might bounce along and come back up and keep retesting it a few times. If you look where your yellow line is, it's 723, just above it. If you look at the break on that, it came back up and it tested.
Oh yeah, yeah. Looking here.
You can see how many times it's actually touched that.
Yes.
Then it's gone down. So this that was an hourly, I think, an old hourly. This one here is an hourly, and it's also a daily. It's just broken. So it may well want to come back up and touch it again. But hey, you know, we don't know. We only need to be in the trade for 3 minutes. So you know, quite possibly we could have took a trade there without even using HourGlass. You could have just used it as technical analysis. Basically, that's what we're talking about at the minute. But it's still exactly what we said it would do.
Yeah.
It's closed on the 5 minute, and it's come back up and retested it. Those aggressive traders amongst us, as soon as it's come back up and touched into that zone, the rectangle you've drawn there, you could have took a put quite easily on there, and I think you probably would have been winning that trade now. But I think because it's such a key level, it might want to come back up and touch it 2 or 3 times. And if it does that, great. But if we just wait 5 minutes and let it get to that hour, this is the 5-2 candle now, and we know sometimes that it'll go. It can actually start going down now. But if we wait a few minutes, just to be on the safe side, I mean, what you could do, what I did the other day on UJ at this particular time, is do a 3 candle rule and get in it for 15 minutes. You know, and that takes it past the hour. You've got 5 minutes remaining in this hour, and then you've got 10 minutes into the next hour. That's what I did the other day, and it went on and on. So this is definitely going to go down, but you know, we don't know when. It's just judging the time. But I think it's a good time for an entry, just based off technical analysis. It looks like it wants to go down now. Looks like it's made its mind up. And I think that may well want to continue down.
That's the hourly candle.
Yeah, I mean, we might get a reaction on the hour. It might come back up and retest it again. But generally speaking, you can overcome that, like I've said, by getting increasing your time from 3 minutes to maybe a little bit longer. Well, I think it's made its mind up now. I think it's generally going to go down. So, you know, it's like anything, it's not straightforward. It's just high probabilities. But it's going to go down and touch that 605. That's its next port of call, I think. I took a trade on that, by the way. Not a put. I took a 5 pip trade on the euro.
Oh, I thought I heard it.
Yeah.
The whiplash.
I've just entered that. A couple of pips in profit at the minute. So
Excellent.
as long as it hits 3 pips, I'll be safe, risk free then. Not really too bother what happens after that already. You know, I don't care, you know, what anybody says. You can go on, you can trade all these currency pairs, but I've got to tell you, AUD USD is probably my most favorite currency pair to trade now.
Really, it does seem to move so beautifully to the lines.
Yeah, I mean, all year, you know, you are going to get caught out sometimes, unexpected news and stuff like that, but generally speaking, once it goes, it generally goes down to the next key level, or in this case where it's in a downtrend anyway, or trading with the trend here. So you know, we've already got something in our favor. The price is going down, so we really want to be only doing puts or sells on this, and that's basically what it's doing at the minute. But it can come back up.
Yeah, look, it's changed on the currency strength meter markedly.
Just have a quick check of that as well.
That's weird.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think sometimes on this currency strength meter, sometimes gives you false readings. I'm not quite sure, you know, why it would do that. What we see there's just been a little reaction off it. So what I like to do is when we get that little reaction, I like to see what it's bounced off there. So it made a low there at 650, which happens to be a whole number.
Yeah.
Ends with 0. So you know, we as humans, what I mentioned yesterday, we do like to round things up or round them down. So 650, it's had quite a reaction off that. What I like to do is I just like to drop a line on that now, a horizontal line. And what I'll do is I'll just go up with the hourly and I'll look to the left. And I can see now that previously, going back to hours, 5 o'clock yesterday, 6 o'clock, wicked up on there, 1 o'clock, New York open. Yesterday it's wicked a few times. So that looks like 650, looks like it might be a little bit of a key level. And as we've gone into the new hour now, it's obviously drawn a new hourly line on there. So that, you know, that could well be a key level. It could stick around then. We could get a reaction off that as well.
Oh yeah, there's a green pivot back here in London.
Yeah, it's put a pivot on there as well. We've got now a pivot low on there. So 650 looks like it's a key level as well. So it might struggle to get past there for a while, and we could see this work its way back up just a little bit. I don't think it'll come up too far. I think maybe it might come back up to 670 if it hasn't already. And then I do think it'll maybe continue down. So all we're waiting for is it to break and retest this. And of course, this is still making new daily lows as it works its way down. So, you know, eventually it's going to stop and turn. 650 might be the one. But my favorite, my money's on 605. But it is getting into the stage now where it's oversold. So we are going to see some sort of reaction here very shortly, where it's going to probably start to work its way back up, because that's how price moves. It moves in waves. And all we're trying to do is catch that downward momentum, whether it's going for 5 pips or whether it's getting the trade for 3 minutes. And
so here I'm on the hour, I'm on the 1 minute. I was just going to say that's a key candle though, isn't it? That little sort of hammer thing with the long probe up right on that hourly. Oh.
Yeah. Some people call them spinning tops and stuff like that, where they've got like small body.
Although it's doing it now the opposite way. So you're right. It's struggling at this level.
Well, it's at this 650 now, and it's thinking, you know, I want to go back up, but everybody's selling.
Okay.
Yesterday, it's probably seeing, you know, there's a few people there trying to fight it again, because there's constant battle going on between the bulls and the bears, the buyers and the sellers and stuff like that.
This is the hourly candle.
Yeah, I don't think the way this is moving at the minute, it's Friday, right? Oh, it's Friday, so I don't think there's too much action going on in it regarding large traders dropping hundreds of millions of dollars into the market at the minute. I think what we do at the minute is trade with and against retail traders like us. So it's generally going with the trend. We've got other retail traders in the market at the minute who are basically put buys in, thinking that it's going to hit a key level like it did there and go back up, which it hasn't. It looks like it is coming back up slightly just to test that again.
Yeah, so this is the 1 minute.
But I've marked that 650 on my chart, and I've changed it to orange, Sarah, because I use orange for hourlies. It's already marked it on there anyway, but I've kept the line on anyway, just to when it changes in the next hour. It's just that to me that now.
Yeah, look, it's doing what you said it would. It's come up off that level now.
Yeah, that is now probably it is a key level. It is struggling to go down and it is struggling to go back up. It's just trying to make its mind up. And what will happen is it's right at the bottom of the Bollinger Band. It is oversold at the minute, so you could see this go back up. It could go all the way back up to 750 really, but it's just on that 10 pip mark, right, from 750, 650, 10 pips away from it. So really, we need to see it break the 650 close below it for that continuation to go down.
Right.
This could come back up to 750 and come back up and retest it again before it decides to go back down. But it needs to break this 10 pip range really to go down. So my thinking is it needs to go down to 605. If it goes down to if it breaks through this 650, moves up 5 pips down to 605, I think it will continue down to 500 then.
Diane's just said there's a new indicator, Crystal Ball by Les Gallagher.
It's just, I haven't got a crystal ball, but it's just from watching, spending thousands and thousands of hours.
Yeah.
It'd be good though, wouldn't it?
Look at the markets now. I mean, I still get the trades wrong, I still lose. But yeah, it's just these